Welcome to my channel. I'm Kristen, and today I'm sharing with you guys a really fun video. I'm trying out some different crafting supplies, craft tools, and this is gonna be one of those videos. So this video is full of everything that you might need for fall this year. Jumping right in, I am unboxing the Vevor heat press machine. This is an 8-in-1, so it does shirts, mugs, hats. It also does plates, and I'm gonna show you guys how to do a few of those things. So I've never had a heat press machine, although I do have products from other companies like a mug press, an easy press, things like that, but nothing that was all in one, which I think this is honestly a really great price point as well if you're wanting to have a mug press, a plate press, and the mugs are in different sizes. This is what the hat press looks like, and you do have to take apart this machine every single time you're going to be adding a new attachment, which that was, I think, the only downfall that I did not love about this, but honestly, it only takes a few minutes to switch out all of the attachments. So I'm obviously going to be starting out with just the regular press because we're going to be pressing some shirts along with a canvas bag. So this dial right here, this is for the temperature along with the time, which I thought was really convenient, and you just kind of twist it and turn it to change the settings. So this first thing I want to do is I want to make some coasters. So I purchased a ton of items off of Amazon as far as sublimating. I have a printer. I will show you guys exactly what printer I am using. And right here, I'm just going to show you guys a little quick step-by-step. I'm in Canva right now. I do pay for the Pro, but I wanted to customize my own coasters. So I did measure the coasters to start with, and then I just measured all of my images and graphics in Canva, and then I just flipped them because obviously when you are doing sublimation or iron-on, you always want to flip your image, so it is the other way around. So I did change out these coasters quite a bit, you're going to see here, but I love using this. I love being able to customize exactly what I want here. So this is a sublimation paper I am using. It's from Amazon, and this is the printer I am using. You can transfer this into a sublimation printer. So this is what it looks like when it's printed off. I'm just going to cut the images for my coasters, and then I'm just using, you could use scissors, you could use whatever you choose. I kind of cut these a little short, so you're going to see that my coasters, some of them do have a little bit of white, but I am still learning how to sublimate. It is really fun, and it is so easy to do. I honestly don't know why I don't do more of this, but I think now since I have an 8-in-1 heat press, I can do it all the time. I think this is going to be so fun. So I wanted to make some things for the fall time. So I thought coasters would be fun because we kind of just have like some galaxy ones and summertime coasters laying all over. And I really like these because they have that like grip at the bottom, but they are also really cushiony, and I think it will soak in that condensation from your drinks. So right here, I am just laying the coasters down on here. And then this does have a swivel feature, so all you do is kind of grab the handle, and you are going to move the press on top of whatever you are going to heat press, or like I said, I'm sublimating. So, and you just kind of switch, or you kind of twist it, and then you just push the handle down. And I was making sure that everything was going to be working here. It's supposed to be at 350. We kind of kept it at 348. I didn't really think it was going to be a huge difference. And then you just set the timer. It does have legs, so it stands well. And this is just kind of what it looks like when you are pressing anything. I just think this is such a really like pretty heat press, and it is pretty small, so it's not super heavy, and you can carry it from place to place if you needed to. So I'm just going to be taking my coasters off of here, and I was a little worried because they all kind of started folding, but it was just because they were warm, so once they cooled down, they did just go back to how they're supposed to. So I did use some heat tape or heat transfer tape. I can't think of exactly. I know it's like it's heat tape, some sort of heat tape. It's from Cricut. I've just had this forever. I use it when I do infusible ink and things like that. But I'm just like testing these out. This one didn't work as good as what I wanted, but you know, I wanted to show you guys like the pluses and negatives and everything of sublimating. So it has nothing to do with this press. It's honestly just the way that I put everything down. So I would probably end up taping these down a lot better so they did not move as I was changing everything around.
We watch the sun go down over the same old town, like so many times before. We look at the same old stars, battle the.
So shirts, I love making shirts. I found this soccer decal in Creative Fabrica is where I get all of my SVGs from. I love that website. I'll link it down below for you guys. So right now I am just in Cricut Design Space. I decided to try iron-on with this heat press. So I wanted to do a lot of sublimating, but I also figured that I might as well do the good old iron-on just to see how well this worked as well. So once this was done, I did make sure I attached the image so it would all cut out together, because that's what we want. We want it all to cut out together. So once I hit make it, I wanted to make sure I did mirror my image as well. I am using Smart Iron-On, so I do not need a mat. And on that left hand side, make sure you mirror your image. I have cut so many times without mirroring, and you're very disappointed in the long run. So right now I am just weeding this out so I can lay this on top of my t-shirt. Okay, so I did press this t-shirt down just for a few seconds to make sure I was able to get all of the wrinkles out. I mean, it's optional, but I highly recommend doing it just so you don't have wrinkles and bulges in your iron-on. Or I call them bulges. I'm sure that's something completely different, but we're just going to go with my language today. And then, of course, I'm putting that butcher paper down over the top. I did this for absolutely everything. I think it is 100% necessary so it does not ruin your heat press machine. So once that was all cooled down, I'm just going to be peeling this back. And like I said, I'm doing fall items, so you might not think this is a fall item, but soccer does start in the fall. My daughter loves soccer, and of course, she needed a new shirt for the fall time, for school when school starts. So now she has a brand new shirt to wear to school.
Same old horse, like so many times before. And I know that we're not perfect, but I'm gonna miss all that we had. Yeah, I know that we're not perfect.
Also wanted to use this cotton toe. I found this at Michael's. It was only a few dollars. So I am cutting out, or I am printing out my sublimation paper you can see on the left hand side. I wanted to make a fun teacher bag. Now, when you are sublimating, you really want polyester. It works the best. This was not, this was more cotton. So everything does come out a little bit lighter instead of more vibrant, which I was unaware of until I was kind of doing more research that you do want all of your items to be pretty much, I would say 90 to 100% polyester. So you just never know. So this did come out a little bit lighter than I wanted, but I still think it looks great. These are always a good first day of school gift idea for teachers. Like throw your paper towel, Clorox wipes, whatever they are going to need for their class for the year. So this next one, I want to go ahead and do another t-shirt, but this one I did want to sublimate. So this t-shirt is actually from Cricut. They always recommend to use Cricut products when you are doing sublimation or their infusible ink, which I totally understand why, because this image turned out so vibrant, so pretty. It looks amazing. So I'm using that heat tape once again, just so my image does not move around on the t-shirt. And then I am just pressing this down. And I really like that Vevor has their instruction guide, and in the back side it does show like the temperature and how many seconds you will need to press everything, which I loved that. And then for what I didn't, I kind of just Googled things. So you're going to see me make some other items here.
But I need this night for the last time. Stay. No, you're gone in the morning, but I'll be okay if you stay.
So since this does more than just shirts and bags, I wanted to test out the hat press. I also wanted to test out the mug press. So to take everything apart, you do have to take the handle bolts off. Just to get those little screws out of the top so you're able to change your attachments out. The instructions are super easy to follow, and that is honestly what I did the entire time. So if I couldn't figure it out, I just go to the instructions and they worked perfect. They have pictures, which I honestly really like because I do better when I am looking at pictures versus reading something. So I'm going to test out this hat press. So there is just 4 screws. So there's 2 screws that you put on the bottom of this and then 2 for the top attachment. And this was so easy to do. I was really thinking that it was going to take absolutely forever because I had to take the screws out, I had to take bolts out, I had to kind of move the handle around, and it wasn't as bad as what it really, I think it took 3 minutes. So when I went back and kind of checked up to see how long everything took, I'm like, oh, this only took 3 minutes. I felt like it took an hour, but it really is quick and easy to put together. You always just want to make sure you plug in that cord attachment so your item or your attachment heats up. That's really the key here. And then make sure your machine is plugged in. You see that every time I switch out the attachments, my machine is always unplugged. And that's just for safety reasons. The hat and the patch I'm going to be using, and these are actually both from the Dollar Tree, so this really doesn't have to cost you a lot to make some items. This costs $2.50 plus tax to make. So I just laid the hat on top of the press. I did use butcher paper, and I'm not sure if this is a necessary step. So I kind of pushed it down and it kind of moved the hat. So I did have to lift it back up and fix it just a little bit. And then when I did remove it, I realized that the patch wasn't down all of the way. So I actually just went back without the butcher paper and it worked just fine. I just didn't know if it would burn it or not. I didn't think it would. I have seen videos done before, but I was being be safe than sorry. Is that what they say? When it came to this first go around. So I only left this on for about 30 seconds and pulled it up and it was good to go. It didn't burn anything. So I don't think the butcher paper is necessary at all, but this is what it looks like. This is so cute. And like I said, I'm getting ready for fall time. So my kids start school in August and there's always Spirit Week and kids always need hats for hat day and we never have anything. And then I'm always scrounging around. So I am really getting ahead of the game. So when school starts, we are all ready. So now I am hooking up the mug press. This was just as easy as installing the hat press. It just takes 4 screws and plugging in that little plug to make sure that your mug gets, or that mug press gets the heat that it needs to sublimate. So I love going to Creative Fabrica. I typed in fall mug sublimation 12-ounce mugs and I was able to bring up all of these different wraps. And I think this is the easiest unless you know how to make and customize your own and fit to size. I am still learning on how to do that. So I just think that this one was really pretty. So I just downloaded it and in the right hand corner, you just bring up your download, double click it. And then you are ready to print this out and it is the size that you need. And I am just changing my printer in my settings. I always use mine on a matte paper. I don't know how to actually get it to the sublimation paper, so maybe I'm doing something wrong here. So if you guys have any tips on that, let me know. I'm just using a mug. This is actually for sublimating. I have never actually used just regular mugs from the dollar store or anything. I'm sure they work. I don't know though, because I feel like sublimating mugs and regular mugs, they just kind of feel different. Like I feel like the sublimation mugs are just a little bit more shinier and softer. I could be completely wrong. And I'm just using that heat transfer tape just to put my image down so it does not shift and move. And I added a ton of tape on these because I did not want them moving around when I inserted them into the attachment. So once that was good to go, I just slid it along the edge of this or the side, and then I just pulled down on the handle, and then you just press that button right in the front and it will set your time for you, or you set your time and then it will beep when it goes off and you're ready to take it out. So once this was ready, I wanted to make sure that nothing was hot. So you kind of see me messing around with the handle and it wasn't, which I was pretty impressed with. I did just use a little heat mat to lay these mugs on because I wanted to make sure that they weren't going to burn anything. So I did have that mat on the floor and then I just added my mugs to the top until they were cooled. Once they were cooled, or 80% cooled or 60% cooled, I just tore this off because I was dying to see what it looked like. And it looks like that the bottom of this one was not as vibrant as the rest of it. And I did realize that I didn't have this right in the center of the press. So I made sure my second mug did. And this is what they look like when they are done. Who doesn't need a new fall mug with some hot chocolate or whipped cream? I'm not going to lie, there's actually root beer and ice with whipped cream on top of this because That's just one of our favorite drinks right now. But you guys, that is it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed these fun ideas, what you could use and what you could do with a heat press. I will leave the link in the description box below if you guys want to check this one out. I think it is great since it's an 8-in-1 and you can do all kinds of stuff with it. You don't need to buy all the machines when you already have just one machine here. But you guys, that's it. Like this video if you liked it and subscribe if you are new, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.